I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us to remember the life of my mom, Elizabeth. I wish I could give everyone a big hug, truly. Mom led a full life. She would not have wanted a sad funeral, that's for sure. I was the oldest child and would like to take just a short walk down memory lane as I remember some different times with Mom. As my brother and sister can attest, Mom was pretty good at getting us to do things we didn't want to do. Activities, chores, events, all of it.
John out here.
As a young boy, I remember a couple of examples. Number one, piano lessons. Oh, I didn't want to take piano lessons. Not the first year, not the last year. Near the end of my piano lesson tour, it became apparent that my brother had the talent with this instrument, not me. And I got to quit and play golf, which was great for me. But actually, I can still play a little piano and I can read music. So I thank Mom for that experience. Number 2, Culver Military Academy. I didn't want to go. Not that I didn't deserve to go, I did deserve to go. Mom told me it would be like camp. It was not like camp. Some years later, it took a while, I realized that a very structured, disciplined experience helped me in my career and helped me be a better person. Thank you notes. I didn't want to write them. Mom always was making me write them. Those who knew Mom knew that she loved writing thank you notes. In fact, Mom might write you a thank you note, thank you for writing her thank you note. Now I write thank you notes with joy they bring to me and others, and I thank Mom for that. Adulthood comes fast. Work and responsibilities can make life a blur. When Mom was part of our lives, Luann, Matt, and Kate, she made the most of whatever time we spent together, always wanting to contribute her talents, big or small, to our family. Oh, she made our kids go to art camp. They didn't always like it, but they did it, and they learned from it, and we'll always remember it. Mom lived life with all she had, all the time. She would not want us to cry. She would want us to laugh. And so that's what we will try to do.
So I'll be reading The Lord is My Shepherd, which is the reading that Nana taught me. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures.
That is our
He leadeth me beside the still waters.
sister.
He restores my soul. He leadeth me down the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely the goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Love you, Nana. Next, join us in singing the hymn, We Gather Together.
One of my mom's favorite sayings at the end of our conversations was, "Keep laughing, kids." I wrote a piece based on a poem by Pablo Neruda that was called Your Laughter.
Take bread away from me, if you wish. Take air away, but do not take from me your laughter. Do not take away the rose, the lance flower that you pluck, the water that suddenly bursts forth in joy, the sudden wave of silver born in you. My struggle is harsh, and I come back with eyes tired, at times from having seen the unchanging earth. But when your laughter enters, it rises to the sky, seeking me, and it opens up all the doors of life. My love, in the darkest hour, your laughter opens. And if suddenly you see my blood staining the stones of the street, laugh, because your laughter will be for my hands like a fresh sword. Next to the sea, in autumn, your laughter must raise its foamy cascade. And in the spring, love, I want your laughter like the flower I was waiting for, the blue flower, the rose of my echoing country. Laugh at the night, at the day, at the moon. Laugh at the twisted streets of the island. Laugh at this clumsy boy who loves you. But when I open my eyes and close them, when my steps go, when my steps return, deny me bread, air, light, spring, but never your laughter, for I would die.
My mom would have looked out at this beautiful group of people and probably thought some of you should have dressed up a bit more. But she would have delighted in seeing all of your faces. My mom always found and appreciated beauty in her everyday life. This search for beauty in even the smallest things permeated her life in the very best ways. For instance, sometimes I woke up to a halved grapefruit topped with a maraschino cherry and a sprig of parsley. That was an Elizabeth Huter style breakfast. Dinners were often by candlelight, and classical music filled the air. In Dayton, a walk would usually begin her days. I would hear about the birds she heard singing, the way the light glistened on the trees, and even on gray days, how she would think the sky looked beautiful and the temperature was always about perfect, even if it wasn't. And as many of you know, these walks included picking up other people's trash. To most, this would seem like a dirty job, but to her, it was keeping the world beautiful for everyone to enjoy. As a child, one of my jobs was to help her set the table for their elaborate dinner parties. The placement of the silverware was of paramount importance. An inch from the bottom of the placemat, she directed. I don't think I ever got it right. Elegance. Whether it be fancy parties, or navy blazers, or a string of pearls, my mom was the embodiment of elegance. She appreciated the formality and the aesthetic of beautiful things, but things didn't guide her. You could sit at her beautifully set table, adorned with nameplates, lace tablecloths, and her finest china, and she would be most interested in the conversation that would follow. Now, those conversations had a few rules. No religion, no politics, no body parts, and no curse words. I must say, it was so much fun for me as a teenager to say something that she thought was completely inappropriate, just for my own entertainment. I would always get a great big laugh from my dad and an appalled "and" from my mom. Her handwriting was a piece of art in itself. Many of you have received letters from her, and although you might not be able to decipher all of the looped L's or giant A's as they almost danced off the page, you would look at the page in awe. How is this someone's handwriting? It was Elizabeth's, and the loops and curls remained even in the last letter we received in December. My mom also found and embraced beauty beneath the surface and delighted in showing others. This brings me to her love of artwork, her beloved Dayton Art Institute, and her role as an educator. She founded the Masterworks program to bring famous artwork into the classrooms of elementary-aged children. She delighted in their questions, their observations, and their discoveries. Her favorite stories were those of children asking her a question about a piece of art that she had never thought of. Sharing artwork with kids filled her up with complete and utter joy. My mom's friendships were ones of longevity that carried years of memories and deep connection. I witnessed and overheard many conversations, and they were sprinkled with laughter, how proud she was of her kids, and often, very often, a philosophical tangent where one really wasn't sure where she was going. I remember seeing bewildered faces, my dad putting his head in his hands, my brothers and I exchanging looks. Most of you are probably nodding, having experienced this firsthand. But sometimes, if you really took the time to listen, my husband would remind me, she was delivering her own poetry. My mom's faith was very important to her. The place that my brothers and I had the most profound memories was their church in Dayton, Westminster. It was within those walls of beautiful architecture and through voices that sang and exulted each Sunday that she and my dad celebrated their faith. They carried out in the most humble ways their devotion to helping others less fortunate than themselves and a spirituality that guided them through their days. Even after they left Dayton and evolved into their wisest selves, these principles guided their philosophies and their connection to the world. It cannot be left unsaid that what was most beautiful for us to see as her children was the 63-year-old bond that was Ted and Betty. They laughed, they danced, they held hands. They argued, got on each other's nerves, and apologized. They held each other up. They were a team. I like to think that many of us were players on that team, on the field or observing from the sidelines. Ted and Betty loved life. They lived a great life, a long life, and that's how I will remember them. My mom's beauty shone from the inside out. All you had to do was look at her big, beautiful smile, and you'd see it for yourself. I will leave you with her own words. Keep laughing. And now, Kate Huter, my mom's granddaughter, will lead us in prayer.
Please bow your heads and pray with us as I say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Now please join us in singing one of Nana's favorite hymns, God of Our Life.
Thank you everyone for coming. I would like to play a lullaby that my mom sang to me when I was a child. It's always been my favorite.